The crowd inside the Staples Center was on their feet, their cheers shaking the walls as the biggest award of the night was about to be announced. Elijah Carter, a name barely known a year ago, stood frozen under the bright Grammy stage lights. His heart pounded as the presenter tore open the golden envelope. And the Grammy for Song of the Year goes to... Elijah swallowed hard. The cursed melody. Elijah Carter. The stadium erupted. Cameras flashed. The world was watching. But as Elijah stepped forward, gripping his tuxedo jacket, his hands trembled, not with excitement, but with fear. Because he knew something the world didn't. This song was never meant to be heard. Somewhere in the shadows of the audience, he saw a man, or at least the ghost of one. A jazz musician from long ago. His face was familiar, too familiar. Elijah's vision blurred. The world spun. Had he made a terrible mistake? It all began 1 year ago, inside a rundown jazz club in New Orleans. Elijah Carter was broke. Not just struggling artist broke, but sleeping in his car broke. The dream of making it in the music industry was slipping away. He had spent years performing for empty rooms, waiting for a breakthrough. But in a world where streaming services paid pennies and social media controlled the charts, talent wasn't enough. He needed something different, something legendary. One rainy night, Elijah found himself at Blue Note Underground, an old jazz club about to be demolished. As he wandered through the abandoned space, his fingers brushed over a dusty grand piano in the corner. And that's when he saw it, a sheet of music, yellowed with age, hidden beneath the keys. The title read, The Cursed Melody. Something about the song called to him. The notes were unlike anything he had ever seen. Eerie, yet beautiful. He played the first few chords, and a chill ran down his spine. That night, he recorded the song and uploaded a rough version online. What happened next was beyond anything he could have imagined. Within hours, the video exploded. Millions of views. People flooded the comments. This song is haunting, but incredible. Where did you find this? It feels ancient. I can't stop listening. It's like it's calling to me. Elijah thought it was luck, but then weird things started happening. First, his old keyboard played by itself at night. Then, his phone would ring, but when he answered, only static came through. And then, a jazz historian contacted him with a warning. "You need to stop performing that song," the man said. It belonged to Louis Mercer, a brilliant jazz musician from the 1930s. He vanished before he could debut it. Some say the song was his masterpiece, but others say it was cursed. Elijah laughed it off. How could a song be cursed? But the more he performed it, the more wrong things felt. His bank account skyrocketed, but so did his paranoia. Labels fought over signing him. Top artists begged for collaborations. Yet, every night, he dreamt of a shadowy figure watching him from the crowd. And then, one night before his biggest performance yet, he saw the name Louis Mercer trending on Twitter. But Mercer had been dead for nearly a century. Elijah clicked the post. It was a black and white photo of Mercer, standing in the crowd at one of Elijah's recent concerts. The caption read, "Wait, who is this man? He wasn't supposed to be here." Elijah's hands shook as he scrolled through hundreds of comments. People were seeing Mercer in real time, a ghost, a vision, something impossible. That's when Elijah knew. The cursed melody had brought Mercer back. And if the legend was true, Mercer wanted something in return. Elijah's hands trembled as he clutched his phone. The comment section was in chaos. People claiming they had seen Louis Mercer, a man who had vanished nearly a century ago, standing in his concert crowd. Was it an illusion? A coincidence? Or was Mercer truly back? Elijah tried to shake off the fear. He was at the Grammys now. He had made it. He was standing on the biggest stage of his life. But as he took the golden Grammy trophy in his hands, a chill ran down his spine. A whisper brushed his ear. "This was never yours." Elijah whipped around, his breath caught in his throat. No one was there. The cameras flashed. The world cheered. But inside, he felt like he was unraveling. The night dragged on in a blur of celebrations. Journalists hounded him. Record labels tripled their offers. And his phone wouldn't stop ringing. Yet, as the afterparty roared on, Elijah couldn't stop staring at the golden Grammy in his hands. Something wasn't right. He rushed back to his hotel, locking the door behind him. His instincts screamed at him to destroy the song, to erase every trace of it. But it was too late. The world had already heard it. As he sat on the edge of his bed, the Grammy trophy beside him, his laptop lit up with an email notification. Subject: urgent. Stop playing the cursed melody. The sender: unknown. His heartbeat pounded in his ears as he clicked the message. Elijah Carter, you think this is your moment, but the melody does not belong to you. It belongs to the one who created it, and he is coming. Just as he finished reading, the room went dark. Elijah's chest tightened. He reached for his phone, but the screen was static. Then, the piano played, the same haunting melody, but Elijah wasn't touching it. His breath turned shallow. He turned slowly toward the corner of the room, where the silhouette of a man sat at the piano. A wide-brimmed hat covered most of his face, but the fingers on the keys, they were impossibly long, impossibly old. Louis Mercer, the legend himself, back from the dead. Elijah tried to speak, but his throat closed. The room pulsed, as if reality itself was shifting. Mercer turned his head slightly. His voice was a low whisper, carried by the shadows. I never got to finish my song. Now you will? The last thing Elijah saw was Mercer raising his hand, his shadow stretching across the room, before everything went black. The next morning, the world woke up to shocking news. Breaking: Grammy-winning artist Elijah Carter vanishes hours after his historic win. No one could find him. Not in his hotel, not at the after-party. His phone was left behind, the screen still open to an unfinished email. But strangest of all, the Grammy trophy was gone, and at a small, abandoned jazz club in New Orleans, a dusty piano played, all on its own. The melody? The same cursed tune that had made Elijah Carter famous.